Hey everybody, before you continue watching the video, make sure you give the channel a like and subscribe. Go and follow us on Instagram. Go and check out all the different social media scenarios. Make sure if you're enjoying the content, go there, like, subscribe, follow, so we can keep putting stuff out. If you've got any questions, leave a comment. All right, make a comment on either of our pages and we'll answer them as soon as we can.
The thing that I think that I can't connect with, because I've never seen it, but like the amount of the people in the crowd and the animosity from the people in the crowd, and you've talked about with Tony to do with jiu-jitsu and people chanting and screaming, like, man, that was, and you watch like Henzo and stuff like that doing MMA, and then people in the crowd fighting and all this stuff as well, watching, like, that's something that most people from a Western country have never been, exposed to or experienced. And that's, I mean, the environment of, like, man, it's like a group of people from this gym and a group of people from that gym, and this like animosity and tension in the room and stuff like.
And the rivalry before, like when you talk about like Nadia, for example, there was an area section at the beach in Rio where the guys from Luta Livre would be in this section here, and everyone would be in this section. The guys from Jiu-Jitsu would be in this section. The guys from Muay Thai would be in this section. There was like a imaginary line, you know what I mean?
Okay. Like
and it was sort of very, exactly. But that was very confusing as well, because you have friends. I had friends in other gyms, for example, in Jiu-Jitsu, like childhood friends. They train another, they start training and they have friends in that. But we're really good friends, and that was really strange because we felt not right by supporting them in the competition, and they are your friend. Like, I mean, there was him and someone else that you never met before. Like, of course you're gonna support your friend,
Yeah.
So there was a lot of conflicts in that.
A lot. I remember when I left these guys, because we started in the same suburb, and I went to André Pederneiras.
That too. Yeah.
Very close, like maybe 2 k's from each other.
Yeah.
And I got, because back then was a belt system as well, and I got my first belt was a red belt. I talked to someone about it here in the
Muay Thai.
We don't have belts, but back
Yeah,
then.
Nadia had,
Yeah, I got my red belt. So I was part of the team with the guys, and I left suddenly. And then I went to Jiu-Jitsu straight away. And then after a few months training with the guys, I was left in the gi leaving the gi with the gym with my gi. And then I ran in with my coach, my old coach, Muay Thai. And then looked at me, what are you doing? Like, he was so disappointed. Because this is what Dad saying, Muay Thai was very connected with Luta Livre, which is a kind of Brazilian wrestling. And they're in the opposite side of Jiu-Jitsu. So they sort of have a bit of rivalry. So if you leave in Muay Thai, Luta Livre to do Jiu-Jitsu, you're part of another team, And so he was a bit surprised.
And funny enough, that in my opinion, put Brazil, like Brazilian MMA fighters at the beginning, a little bit distant from MMA scene, like in terms of technical terms, because there was no integration.
Yeah.
There was like, if you go train Muay Thai, don't train here. You know what I mean? So they had to be almost like a guy, like a black cat guy to go. No, I'm gonna do both. You know what I mean? And stand up for himself and be in conflict.
André Pederneiras actually, in my opinion, was one of the pioneers in that situation 100%. In Brazil, like combining them, because
successfully as well.
Like Pedro Rizzo, which is one of the greats. He's actually, his background, I believe, is Luta Livre, isn't it?
His background is actually Luta Livre Muay Thai as well. Yeah.
And then he migrated to train some wrestling with the André Pederneiras guys, and then the integration between them,
Make the guy.
Yeah.
What did that segregation come from? Like, because man, you can hear some really good podcasts with Hickson and all this stuff, and he talks. It's Hugo Duarte, right? The guy who's fought on the beach and a couple times, like they stormed his gym and all these types of things. Like, man, there's a very, very interesting rivalry. But was it just to prove whose martial art was better? Is that what it came from?
There was a combination between prove what martial arts was better. There was a fundamental conflict, but I think it was a bit of there was inbuilt on that. There was a little bit of localism in certain areas. So Luta Livre was very big in 2 or 3 suburbs like Botafogo. That was their headquarters, right? You have jiu-jitsu big in other areas. You have Muay Thai big in other areas. So it's almost like a ganghood trying to prove that what we do is better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and both, it's a ground fight, and they both think they are better in the ground fight.
Thanks God, all of them now have a lot of respect for each other. All of them now actually appreciate the fact that conflict brought them best out of themselves, so they have to always be prepared, train,
improve the level of both as well.
I had the impression as well as something to do with socio-economic back to the days.
100%.
It used to be a bit more upper class.
Elite,
than,
100%
financially.
I'm not sure if
so class-wise, like in terms of social class.
100%.
These days it's totally integrated. It's the same thing, but back to the days was a bit
100%.
So it was like people from a better background, financially upper class, and then literally were people with less fortunate.
And it's very true what you're saying, Fab, because you think about that. You just mentioned that from Nova Union was the proposal of MMA and he was actually the proposal actually to make jiu-jitsu more popular at the same time.
Community of Morro Azul.
Exactly, community of Morro Azul. But he's actually, Nova Union was actually the combination with, there was André Pederneiras and another guy at the beginning, and this other guy was actually from the suburbs, like very poor background, like Maya and other areas there. So it was the proposal of congregating all the martial arts into towards MMA, gearing towards MMA, but it was actually at the same time open up for more disfavorable financially backgrounds too.
He introduced.
So interesting.
He introduced to that kind of class of people.
100%. One of the proposals.
Thanks for watching the video, guys. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you give it a like, subscribe, and a follow. Check out all our different social media platforms. There's heaps of content coming out. There's different snippets and content on different platforms. So make sure you're on everything. And again, if it helped you out, recommend to somebody else, and hopefully it'll help them out too.